Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to all my lovely regular viewers, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So it's another spring nail design today, and of course I'm going to use Glitterbels because you all know how much I love Glitterbels. So as usual, I'm going to use my ever faithful hand dolly, and the nail tips that I have on are also from Glitterbels, and it is their extreme coffin nail tips, which are fab. You know, you don't have to shape them at all. Well, I don't, because I do them so long anyway, but even if you were doing a shorter length, there's very little filing that needs to be done to keep these a coffin shape. So staying with the spring colours, this is Blossom, and I've had this colour for a while. I think I've used it in a few sets, but it has this little pearlescent sort of thing to it, and it is so pretty. It's really nice to work with as well, but I have noticed that any of the powders that do have a little shimmer in them, they do take slightly longer to cure. So I'm going to come back to that colour once it's cured, and I'm going to file it in a straight line. Moving on now to the little finger, and I'm sorry, I just have the nail bed area of this nail just out of focus. So I'm going in with Snowdrops White, and I'm going to do a sort of French ombre, but I'm not going to be using one of the core powders to do the ombre with. I'm going to be using one of their coloured acrylics just to tie in with this set. So I'm placing it on quite thinly because I will be capping over them as well, and I'm just feathering it up where I'm going to be doing the ombre so that you don't have a harsh line showing. So moving on to the ring finger, and this is Pom Pom, which is absolutely gorgeous. You know, this is the colour that I'm actually going to ombre the little finger, the pointer finger, and the thumb. So it did give a really nice ombre. So on this nail, it's just going to be a full coverage of the Pom Pom, and I will go in once I've filed and shaped them all and do a little design as well. Back to the little finger now to do the ombre. So whenever I'm doing an ombre, I prefer to let the first colour that I've laid down start to cure. That way the colours, they don't mix together, and I find that you get a nicer ombre. So I have started it up at the cuticle area, and I've brought it down. I wanted to see how far I could spread it before I actually went through the ombre, because sometimes I do the ombre first, and then whenever you go up to the cuticle area, you end up going over your ombre anyway. So I did it a bit different this time. But as you can see, it's a lovely colour to ombre with as well. So onto the middle finger now, and I'm going in again with Blossom. So I'm going to bring the blossom more or less right down to the free edge, and then I'm going to create a diagonal line on a negative space, and then I'll fill that negative space in with some Opal Crush, which I absolutely love. So if I'm doing a full coverage of any colour, I prefer to start at the cuticle. I find that sometimes you I don't know, the product just seems to flow a little bit better, and you've got more control over it as well, although I think I'm making it look pretty hard here. So what I'm trying to do here is try to keep the blossom as thin as possible, because I am going to go over and cap it with the glass slippers. So I'm trying to do the diagonal line as much as I can with my brush, and that way my nail isn't going to be too thick if I have to keep building it up with any more of this blossom. So I'm going to let the blossom cure, and then I'll come back to it and take my hand file and just crisp up that diagonal line. So back onto the little finger, and I just noticed a part of the ombre that just, there was too much white poking through, so I've just went back over with a little bit more of that Pom Pom. So moving on now to the thumb, and I'm going back in again with the Snowdrops White. So the thumb and the little finger are going to be exactly the same. So back now to the pointer finger and the middle finger, and I'm going to go in with my hand file just to sharpen up those lines that I've done with the acrylic. So whenever I go in then with the glitter, it's going to give me a nice crisp finish. So back to the thumb, and I went back in again with some of the Pom Pom because the white has cured. I want to get a really nice ombre. So back in with the Pom Pom, and I've just ombreed that over the white, the Snowdrops White, keeping it quite thin because I am going to go over and cap them all in the clear. So back to the pointer finger, and I'm going to go in with some Opal Crush, which is absolutely lush. I hope you can get to see just how nice it is on the video. So I'm just going to do like a band of this just underneath that blossom, and then once it starts to cure, I'm going to put a little butterfly decal on it. So if you've never used any nail decals before, you need to sort of cut as close to the image as possible, and then just pop it into just normal water for around 10 to 15 seconds, and you will see that it just starts to slide off the little backing paper. So once you get it off the backing paper, just pop it on where you want to place it, and you can either then cover it over with a top coat to keep it, but in this case I'm going to cover it over in the glass slippers. This time I'm going to use my little craft knife just to give me that nice straight edge, and I won't have to go in and crisp it up with my hand file. I'll be able to go straight back in with whatever colour I'm going to use next. So this is going to be an ombre in the bottom part of this nail, so I'm going to back it in with the Snowdrops White. I'll feather that up towards the centre of the nail, and then once that starts to cure, I'll go in again with the Pom Pom. So back now to the middle finger, and just where that diagonal line is, I'm going to fill in the rest of the nail tip with the Opal Crush. So that is all the coloured acrylic on. All that I need to do now is to cap all the nails in the glass slippers. But before I do that, I'm just going to add some of the Opal Crush to the little finger and to the thumb. Just to keep the length of the video down for you guys, I'm only going to show one or two of the nails being capped in the glass slippers, just because they're all done in exactly the same way and I never like the videos to be too long for you guys. So I did all the filing and shaping off camera just as well to keep the length of the video down. But before I go ahead and add my top coat, I'm going to add a few more of those little butterflies to the middle finger, and then I'll just seal them in with the top coat this time instead of the glass slippers. So now it's top coat time, and you'll get to see this Opal Crush just come to life. I love whenever I'm using glitter in any of my sets because they sparkle so much as soon as you apply the top coat. On the ring finger, I'm going back in with a little metal decal. So I'm going to use these little caviar beads that are on a chain. So I've never used these before, so this is the first time that I'm going to do this design. So this little metal decal, I'm just placing it in my rhinestone glue, and then I'm just going to flash cure it with my little torch. So I thought to fill the centre of that little metal decal, I would go in with some of the Opal Crush and make it sort of like an antique brooch sort of effect. And then once that starts to cure, I'll take some of my rhinestone glue and do an outline around that little metal decal, and then I'll place the caviar beads into that. So this is just those little caviar beads on the line. They save so much time. I don't know why I didn't order them sooner, because they are fab. Wow, how quick was that putting those little caviar beads on. I used to struggle so much with putting rhinestones on and these little caviar beads, but no more. I'm going to use this an awful lot more. I thought as well, just to kind of complement the rest of that finger, that I go in with some of these little stickers. But for some reason, this little one, it just won't stay down. Even though there's nothing, you know, sticky or anything on the nails, it just will not stick. So I take them off and I go in with another little sticker, and it just, it was so much nicer. So back to the pointer finger now, and that little band where the butterfly is, I'm just going to put some of this gold striping tape just across the bands, and just to tie all the nails in together. So all I need to do now is just to put some top coat over the striping tape and those little gold decals, and that is the set finished. So here is the finished set, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, and I will be back with another video. So take care. See you soon. Bye.